Hello and welcome to the Tongue of the Trees channel. I'm Elizabeth Ashley, the Secret Healer, and I understand you want to know, what is Rosemary Essential Oil good for? Well, you come to the right place. I am a clinical aromatherapist with over 25 years professional experience. I am the UK director of the National Association of Holistic Aromatherapists. I'm an author of the Secret Healer series, of which there are over 20 of these manuals, and importantly for this video, I am the co-creator of the Tongue in the Trees channel, and this is our video about the physical properties of rosemary essential oil. So what do I mean by physical properties? Well, essential oils work on many different levels. They're good for the mind. They influence our emotions, and they can also help us find our way through spiritual challenges. How, not necessarily religious, but how we feel about what's going on around us. All of those are very relevant with rosemary. However, in this video, we are only going to look at the physical properties. And when I say physical, what do I mean by that? What it does to our body, our actual body. Now, anybody who reads my books or who watches any of my other videos will be smirking now, I'm sure. You know who you are, that I am doing a video about rosemary, because it's no secret that she and I are not friends. We are not friends in any way, shape or form. I don't trust her at all. So I very rarely use her, although I have to tell you, she is a tremendous oil. If you can make friends with her, fantastic, but she and I, not friends. So I am going to use my notes from my book, the book What I Writ is what my mum and dad always used to say, the book I wrote, and the rest of the information, the emotional, spiritual, mental, and also safety blending and stuff is contained in another video, which I'll tell you about in a little while after we've talked about the physical properties. But also it'll tell you about how you can get your hands on this book for free if you want to. It's tremendous. I know I say it myself, but it's tremendous source material if you are looking to learn about aromatherapy. But physical properties then of rosemary essential oil. So it says historical successes of using this essential oil have included aids mental clarity, good for concentration and memory, and I would agree with all of those. We'll talk about that a lot more in the other video, but memory is a complex thing anyway, isn't it? But it's used quite a lot in clinical trials to try and help people who have Alzheimer's, dementia, that kind of thing, to remember. It's not tremendous on its own, but we'll talk about that in the other video. But likewise, you know, exams, if you're trying to remember things. And it is because it's so sharp and so focusing. And that's one of the reasons why she and I don't get on. I can't do anything sharp and focusing. I'm quite a sharp person anyway, and that sounds terribly arrogant, doesn't it? But most of the energy I need is to calm me down. So this is why. But it is tremendous for getting your head straight and remembering things. Recall. Now, one of the reasons that I do use it on patients is if somebody has nerve pain. So if somebody has sciatica, neuralgia, any kind of situation where the nerve is trapped or inflamed, then it would be the first oil that I would go to. It's wonderful for that. Also headaches. I know it sounds very basic. I would recommend just, always dilute your essential oils. A little drop of lavender, sweet basil, rosemary. Just rub it on the temples. Absolutely fantastic for headaches. Beautiful. And migraine. Beautiful. Very, very good. Migraine too. Hold on to that thought. Hold that thought. When I say migraine, when we come back to liver, then I will talk about migraine. So I'm fidgeting with my book because the page won't stay down. So I'm going to have to break the spine. It does. I'm never even opening on that page. That says a lot. No other page is played up. Now, lowers cholesterol. I remember learning this when I did my training back when dinosaurs roamed the earth. And I don't think I've ever checked to see if there's any clinical evidence to support that, but I do know that if you have any kind of butters or margarines and stuff, they always add rosemary to it, so I'm guessing that there probably is clinical evidence to support it. It would certainly be something that I would consider using if my cholesterol went high for any reason. Energetically, we talk about energies a lot in the other video, but it's very relevant. It's very stimulating and it's very invigorating. The guy who has created these cards with me, Gagle Halodi, he and I ran an essential oil summit 2 years ago, and there was a lovely lecture on there by a German aromatherapist called Martin Henglein. And he talked about there are best times of the day to use certain essential oils. And rosemary, he said, straight away, I said, I don't like rosemary, don't use it. And he said, well, have you thought about using it in the morning? And I thought, well, that's quite a good idea, because it is very invigorating, it is stimulating. It's not quite as aggressively stimulating as, for example, peppermint might be. But it is suited better to morning, got to face the day, than afternoon and evening. It's very interesting. I wouldn't really have thought that out myself. Indigestion and bloating, it is very good for digestive. And in the same way that we talked about in the peppermint lecture, you have your peppermint with your roast lamb to help break down the grease and help it to digest. It's exactly the same reason why we have rosemary with your roast lamb, because it's greasy and it's superb for digestion. And I wonder if that's where the cholesterol comes from. Actually, interesting to think about. If you are constipated, my first choice would be to have some rose oil. If you don't have any rose oil, then I would definitely go for the rosemary oil. Stimulates appetite. Yeah, if God forbid you've got a child who has anorexia, I wouldn't wish that on anybody, but if you do, then this is a good oil to kind of get them to start thinking about food. Likewise, if somebody has cancer treatment and they go off the food because they feel nauseous, then rosemary is a good one. And tarragon, actually, I would go for. That's not really one we're going to talk about in this series, but that is an oil that I would go for appetite. And just, I haven't been very well for a while, and so my appetite is poor, and that's suiting me at the moment because the weight's dropping off me. So I'm not encouraging my appetite too much, but if it gets problematic and I think, oh, actually I need to eat more, I'm not sustaining the energy that I need to, then it might be a way to do it, to eat a bit of rosemary herb or use some rosemary essential oil. Also, it's very good oil for hair care, especially if you've got dark hair. I always find just a couple of drops. I would put a couple of drops in your conditioner, and then a couple of drops maybe in some vinegar in the final rinse of your hair. And if your hair is dark, if you're Asian or black or Mediterranean, you've got that beautiful lustrous, oh, it glows, it's so shiny and it brings such volume to it. Rosemary is fantastic for that. But it really stimulates the scalp. So if you are thinking, oh, I'm losing my hair a bit, some rosemary for that is very, very good. And also it helps with dandruff. So it's not an oil that I would recommend using on children, I have to say. But if in the same way, cradle cap as well. You know, it cleans. It's very cleansing oil generally, you know. And I've put in here, uses the final rinse for glossy dark hair. So yeah, those are the physical properties, the main physical properties of rosemary. I can't stress how useful it is for the mind and for nerve pain in particular. But the emotional side, the mental side and the spiritual side, and by that I don't necessarily mean religious, I mean that relationship you have with yourself over time, you know, the challenges that you face, the cultural, familial, worrying what people will think about you, those kind of challenges. It's a constant battle of coming back to yourself, isn't it? There are no better tools for dealing than aromatherapy, and that's what these oils, these cards are about. So if you want to learn more about that, please come across to the other video. It's completely free. It's just focused in a different way. I was aware that people who wanted to know about rosemary probably wanted to know about the physical properties. In the same way, there's good reason why I don't trust my lady. So because there's lots of safety concerns with her, which again I'm not going to address in here. But if you want to come across for a real masterclass really about rosemary, about the safety, about the emotional, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, but also how to different ways that I would use the oils, just some ideas of that, and blending. Now, I haven't really talked about him, but Gergely Halodi is a tremendous Hungarian aromatherapist, and he is behind all of the design of these beautiful cards. I don't have a visual bone in my body, and likewise, even though he has a better eye than I do, he also has a better nose than I do. So I got him to do the bits about what does rosemary essential oil blend well with. There's a million oils there, and I'm not convinced that mine would come out anywhere near as well as Gergely. So he is writing those notes for us. So we'll go through that too. So it's, as I say, it's a masterclass. They're completely free of charge. It's just hosted on my website in a different place, that's all. I will show you how to download this book for free if you would like it. As you can see, it's a hell of a textbook, a lot of notes in here. You can download that completely for free. I will also talk to you much more about these cards, how we use them, how can we use that to tap into this signature enthusiasm we've got on the rosemary card. How do we tap into that? And we'll be talking about that as well as the safety. So when I've talked to you about how to use them, hopefully you will think I need those. So I will tell you about the distributor that we have chosen, who is also an essential oil company. So if you feel that you need to get some rosemary essential oil as well as your cards, they can send that out to you and hopefully save you some shipping, because it's all in one package. And finally, if you are the kind of person who goes, I can soak up all this information, but then I'm not really that good at being able to be confident enough to put it into practice. For example, if you want to know, probably we'll make a lotion for neuralgia, I think. So, for example, so maybe you think, well, I need that, but I'm not confident of knowing what other oils to put with it, what carrier oil, how to mix it together. I just still wouldn't know. well, we'll show you how to access another video that tells you how to do that, and I will talk you through. We need that many drops of that many drops of that carrier. Let's stir it up, and I'll show you how to bring it all together. So there we go. This class is free. The masterclass is free. I'm glad that you came to see us. If you, by the way, are you are selling Young Living Rosemary Essential Oil or doTERRA Rosemary Essential Oil, and you really want to tap into how to get to grips with what your customers thinking about, these masterclasses are fantastic, because they not only talk about all the different ways that you can use it on a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, but obviously the safety side as well. So there's loads and loads of information for you to really build your business and become really good at what you're doing. Now, if you ask somebody who knows what they're doing, you get a good answer. So we'll give you all the information about the aromatherapy, but if you want to know about YouTube, then you ask a 10-year-old, don't you? So I'm going to pass you across to my son Dexter in a minute, and he is going to tell you how you can support our channel by liking, sharing if you want to, pass it around for other people to see, hopefully that you will, subscribing, and apparently there's a piece of magic he can teach you that means that every time Gagley or I upload some content, since there are 56 of these cards to get through, that means 56 free masterclasses for you to access. You can get a notification every time that we do it, so that you can get that information before everybody else and you never miss it. So I'm going to hand over to Dexter. The link for the video is just in the description below us. Please click that to please like and subscribe. Thank you for doing that. That really helps our channel. In the meantime, thank you for staying with me to learn about the physical properties and what is rosemary essential oil good for.
So I'm going to teach you how to like, comment, subscribe and hit the notification bell. So you get your phone, you turn it this way up, and then there's a little red subscribe button. Turn it grey by clicking it, and then there's a little bell. Click that and press all at the bottom of your phone or tablet or computer. It will say you will receive all notifications, and then there's a little hand with a thumbs up. Click that, it'll turn it blue and it says added to your liked videos, and there will be comments, and if you want to you can send a comment and say like hi's to Mum and Gagley, and then the link to the next video will be in the description below underneath the video. So bye.